Libra, welcome. We are going to do a reading for you and talk about what is coming up for the next 2 weeks for November. So this would be for November 1st to the 15th. Libra is ruled by the planet Venus, or it's exalted there. But this is actually going to be an energy reading for those who have predominant Libra placements in their charts. So you can read if your sun sign is a Libra, your moon sign, your Venus, your ascendant, or anything where you have a lot of Libra placements. This is a really good thing to listen to, or maybe somebody else that you might know that you're involved with closely, or maybe somebody you want to be involved with. You want to read the Libra or listen to this Libra recording. So we're asking the question, what is coming up for the first 2 weeks in November, predominantly for those who are Libras or have Libra in their chart? What do they need to know? All right, Libra, let's take a look. God, you had some great cards. You cut at the Sun card and the Lovers card. So Libra, you might be looking here at some relationships. You're definitely looking at yourself. The focus is on this person. The tree represents the spinal column. It's a lot to go into at the moment. Cups are usually of emotion, but if you look at this hand is coming out of the heavens. And so we specifically asked the question, what's coming up for Libra first 2 weeks in November? And the cards are saying, hey, on a spirit level, we're trying to offer them something, but they're so busy looking at the cups in front of them that they don't want. They're so busy, stuck in being discontented about something, maybe resentment, something that somebody did to you, something that you're holding on to from the past. And look at, you have the 10 of Swords. Now, this is not a very pretty card. This is a guy, basically, 10 swords are in his back, and it's a very, very dark time. Swords are usually of thought. And so it could be that you're thinking that you're defeated, but I'm going to tell you something, you're not, because the 10 of Swords is actually the darkness before the dawn. If it were coupled with other cards that maybe were dark, we would talk about this a little bit differently. But it's saying emotionally, you're already defeating yourself before you even give yourself a chance. And it is about not only your love relationships, but it's also you defeating yourself on a level of getting what you want. You're thinking, I can't get what I want. I just keep getting more of the same thing. So it's time for you to start to really look at what it is that's causing you to defeat yourself. And you're also calling a truce here. If you look closely at the Rider-Waite deck, and I have about 60 tarot decks, and they all are done by different people, and so therefore the artwork will and the symbology gives you different things. The Knight of Pentacles crossing you, and I'm going to have to read this for over the landscape of several people. So this is a person that you have in your life. It could also be the Knight of Pentacles is things that move a little bit more methodically and slowly. So if you're in a love relationship and you're feeling stuck and you're feeling that you're not getting what you want because you want it now, the person that you're involved with is actually bringing some wisdom to your life. Because love relationships don't always go at lightning speed. Love relationships are not determined by what you see on TV. They're determined by the two people that are actually in the relationship together. The beauty about this, and you have the card of Justice, which is the Libra, and this Justice card is saying, Libra, get back to what you know. Get back to that loving balance, because if you do, this is going to be a little bit more predictive. You're going to be hearing some really great news from the person that you actually want to hear from. So I'm going to have to move this because I want you all to see these cards. So we've got some great communication about where it's going. I would say for Libras who have been in a relationship where you have had problems in the past with somebody that you were involved with. You guys might be split or you're discontent about what you're getting. This could indicate to me that you're going to be hearing news about where the relationship is going or how you can better improve it. Or I would say even get what you want. This is indicating that the issues that you're actually having are abandonment issues from the past. And that has created a self defeating habit for you. That's your Five of Swords. I would say that if you begin to change your thought and think about what you can have, not what you keep continuing to say you're getting, like this Four of Cups, on a relationship level, it says you're going to get what you want and need. You will get some good news. This person could even say, I want to marry you. I do want to commit to you. And I do want to do this with you. This feels really good. But you don't like the fact that you don't feel that it's exactly where you want the relationship to be when you want it. Okay, that's great. Except when it causes you to struggle, I want you to take a look at the fact that when you're in a relationship with somebody, it's two people that are relating. And it means you have to know the person that you are involved with, because the person, it looks like somebody is resisting you a little bit, not in loving you, but in giving you what you want on the timeline that you want it exactly how you want it. When you come into a relationship with somebody, it's not like they show up and you say, this is what I want from you. I'm going to put in my order and you give it to me. This person is resisting that. And that's what this struggle is. It's really about growing up and growing out of a very sort of greedy, selfish, I would say, attitude of when you get into a relationship, this is what I want. I mean, how many of us do that? Well, I've done it before. It didn't work out really well because the person was like, I can't do that. That's not who I am. And what I learned is that when you get into a relationship with somebody, you have to know the man or the woman or the person that you are in a relationship with. And Libra, if it isn't somebody else, it's you. And you're saying, wait, I want to be slow and methodical about this because I've been in situations before that don't feel very good. And I have been hurt and I have been abandoned when we move in very quickly. So, can we please plant the seeds to this new, beautiful thing that could actually turn into something really great in the future? It could turn into a full on commitment. All right. So, oh boy, and this is like talking about the time of November too. Wow. This is a really good reading for you, Libra. It's really accurate. All right. So this little tea leaf deck is like one of my faves. And I'm going to cut it in case I need more cards. So the very first card that you get is it saying step into the experience. And so you see, look at this person is only stepping into the experience. And we've got new life growing up through the cobblestone. If you take a really close look at the card, it's actually very cool. And in some ways, stepping out of the prison. And your mind is always what creates the prison. And it's saying this month of November, boy, this is about commitment and marriage, stepping into commitment and marriage, Libra. Okay. And then it's also, okay, great. So there's some hard work ahead. This definitely has more female energy. And so what you might be dealing with is a predominant woman in your life or the emotional energy. But I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of stability. What is happening is that you're feeling really unsettled. And Libras don't typically like to feel unsettled. But it says if you can plan ahead and not I'm going to get married to you and this is what you're going to give me and this is how it's going to go. But instead, step into the experience with the person. Step into the experience. People say leave your baggage at the door. Well, how do you do that? People try and do that, and then they show one thing, and then they show up and they show another. Now, leaving your baggage at the door or bringing it with you is something that I think is really important for us to take a look at. You don't have to show up on a first date or as you're getting to know somebody and reveal to them all the, stuff that you have going on. You need to reveal those things to yourself. And you need to analyze them and look at them. And you need to ask yourself, has that worked for me? Am I just acting from my own fears of what I picked up, maybe from your mother, maybe from a female figure in your life, okay? Or maybe the lack of it, the lack of emotion, maybe that a mother offered. And so, for you, it's very important. It's like, let's just get into the relationship now. And the other person is saying no. Or maybe it's the Libra who happens, they're very balanced. And one of the things I do know about the Libras that have been in my life is there's a deep personal strength and peace that assures success with them. And that's the success here. Okay. So you are getting a lot of success in this relationship, but they don't need to be pinched. They don't need to feel like it's an either or, the ultimatum, because what it's also saying is those hidden secrets that you have about yourself, like I'm really insecure, it says can harm you if you let them come out. Nobody needs to take on you're crazy. So when you start threatening people or fighting them or saying, I'm going to break up with you, and all of those idle threats or blocking them or hanging up, all of the things that we do, to try and get a reaction so that this person, will show you that they love you and they care about you. It says it's going to hurt you because Libra is about peace and harmony and beauty. And there's a calmness to this reading. The time to act is when you're coming from a place of peace and harmony. If you're coming from a place of the old dead things that you learned here from possibly the romance in your life with either a woman or from a predominant woman that you were not romantically involved with, but depended on for your love as a primary caretaker, that's really important here. It does say that the relationship is on the road to success. Guard against arrogance. Happiness comes from within. Happiness doesn't mean that you have to put it out there for everybody because that sometimes also backfires on you. So it's talking about really knowing that a relationship is between two people. And what you have together is going to, you bring in friends, you bring in family, and even people that you work with or engage with in extracurricular activities. And so this is also talking about there's some dealing. It could be with an older man. It could be some wisdom that you receive from somebody who is older, remembering, something a grandfather or an uncle or your father told you. And if they've passed over and you believe that, you might be receiving messages. It could even be talking about, and it could be the rainbow, because somebody that's crossed over because we have the rainbow. And so the most difficult part of the situation is over. But it's saying, remember a time when someone had taught you something about relationships and love and really seeking within, because it says it comes from family matters. Sometimes what we find out is we've had an uncle or someone who has had an alcohol or a drug problem or whatever it was, and the effects that that person had were really detrimental because, this is very good. So you will be hearing some good news, and it is from somebody who has your best interest and is trying to protect you. So I want you to pay attention. Sometimes you have to listen to the inner voice. Okay. And this is a powerful friend. And this is telling me it could be a guide, it could be a guardian angel, it could be a number of things. But it is talking about more of a male energy. So male can be very, very protective in the traditional sense of the word. And you may say, well, my father, whoever, was not protective of me. Well, whoever this is, they're going to be. And it's definitely about family matters. So any of you Libras that are moving into a relationship where you want to get married or you want to be married or you are married, it's going back to the basics of who you are as a being. And if you have predominant Libra energies, then you're going to have this beauty and peace and harmony and balance that you need to get back to. And if that means that you have to talk to someone or pull back from them, and it's going to create a little bit of an upset, then it's just going to be what it is, because it says you need some soul solitude. For you, it says, please stay very connected to the divine source. Libras have these beautiful spirits, and you don't pull away from the connection of the divine source and think that the physical world is your source, because it isn't. Everything is created from the unseen world. And when you're talking about the universe or God or whatever you believe, it's the powers that be, the creative force is saying, hey, please take some time alone and pay attention to what you're feeling inside, because this is saying you need to stand your ground. You need to empower yourself, not empower the old ideas and habits and patterns. Because it says when you just listen confidently and you trust that you have everything within you, it says you're going to then you will take the action. But right now, it says, is the moment that you need to stand your ground. And it says in doing so you become victorious. Well, what do you have to stand your ground in? Well, it's certainly not, oh, I'm discontent. What it's saying is, I don't like those things. Like the Four of Cups was your first card. I don't want any more of that in my life. Okay. You must stand your ground, because when you stand your ground, it says the universe will come and it'll meet you where you're at. You'll see blessings flow abundantly to you. And then you have the soul solitude. You see, Libra, you're not going to get away from it. What is your dream relationship? What is it that you want more than anything in your life? How do you want to see that come to fruition? How do you want to see the changes in your relationships? And don't tell me, oh, that person is never going to change. Because what these cards are saying is you have the power to change it by changing yourself, by standing and honoring what you know is true and real for you. Now, this has to do, it could be with an employee or an employer or a coworker. It could be with your kids, your parents. It could be with your spouse, your lover, or someone that you would like to be involved with, or someone that you're broken up with and you want to get back together. Maybe it's you're co-parenting with someone. But it says you must get away from the noise of the outside world, because your soul is going back to, please, you're a Libra, please give me some inner peace and solitude. And so it says it's time to pause and reflect. And so the first 2 weeks of November are about really self-nurturing your soul and your heart and your feelings, and saying, instead of saying, I'm so sick of this, I'm getting the same thing day after day, stop saying you're sick of it. Recognize, I don't want any more of that. And now that I know what I don't want, I need to figure out what I do want. Really and truly, at my core, what do I dream about? What do I feel? How do I want my life to be? And then I have to begin to think about, there is this fire that is coming. And it's funny, we have these three cards here. We have the World, the Ace of Swords, and the Ace of Wands. You have some new beginnings coming. These are new thoughts, new feelings, new emotions, where you can have the world at your feet. The world will give you everything that you want if you will move towards the thoughts and the feelings and the ideas of growth and progress and being a better person. I didn't even address the Ace of Pentacles and the Hanged Man. And to me, what the Ace of Pentacles and the Hanged Man are talking about, just in this spread right now, is if you can move out of the ideas of how you believe relationships were supposed to be, and actually begin to think about how you want the relationships to be, you're going to find that peace and harmony and balance are at the root of what you want. And for a Libra, that means that you need to stay connected to source. You need to stay grounded in what you want, because it will empower you. Don't budge from that. Know what you know and connect with your soul. And the physical world will hand you what you want. And it's interesting. I would also say that the prediction here, it'll probably hand you what you want, around the time of Aquarius, which is like January, February. Um, and I don't remember the exact dates, but it's like January 21st to like February 19th, something like that. And so and there's a lot of prosperity and abundance here. We do have these three aces. So Libras are headed into a time, we've got Mars going into Scorpio, or we have it in Scorpio. God, I mean, it's exalted there. So this is good. This is a very positive thing. And typically, if you are a Libra, you usually have a lot of Scorpio, or a little bit of Scorpio even in your chart. So utilize that passionate energy. Uncover the things that you are afraid to uncover within yourself. You're not going to lose the person that you're in a relationship with, not the way that I'm seeing it. And you see, if you build a firm foundation, memories of love, you see? Okay, Libra, we're on to something. It says you're building a firm foundation within yourself so that you can achieve and get up that mountain. And even in this, look where this is the sign of the mountain here, or a pyramid, right? And there's so much, information just in that. I don't have enough time to go into it. But you can reach the pinnacle of success by changing your thoughts, by knowing that you have what it takes within you, everything to build your life in your mind and in your heart as to what you want. And hold close to you the memory of love that you have, the way that you want to be loved. And see, we're talking about crown chakra. So this is very sacred. This is talking about allowing the divine to work through you. And you might say, well, how do I do that? And it's calling to the divine and saying, please work through me, please. And in order to really feel and sense what the information you're getting, and whether it's coming from ego or if it's coming from spirit, you have to stop thinking the negative thoughts that you were thinking about relationships. When you show up and you're in a meditation, what we're trying to do is we're trying to quiet our mind. Now, sometimes it's good to observe your mind as well. And when you observe your mind, you go, wow, I have a lot going on in my head. But it says if you want the wisdom to come through, you think about the best, the pinnacle. What would be a firm foundation for you? It wouldn't be emotional drama. Okay. You have to have and pull up your fondest memories of love. And again, we were talking about the past. And so if we're dealing with memories from the past that were hurtful and harmful, that's got to be healed. And so when we reach for the light, we reach for the God force to come through our crown and pull it all the way down and ground it into the core of the earth. It says, pay attention. You've got some wisdom coming to you. Boy, I'll tell you, that will blow you away. There's because I see loyalty here and family here and the coming together of two people. And look at that. There's your power. So Libra, your power being ruled by Venus is love, but it's not just the love that you get between two people. It's also divine love. And so your first 2 weeks are talking about healing and opening your heart, more about what you really want, not what somebody else told you should want, not the way other people think you should handle a situation, but the way you want to handle the situation. And Libras come from a place of love and understanding, and they try to balance things. And so this is for you to go within and listen to what your soul is saying, because by looking at these cards, your soul isn't even really saying, it seems like it's screaming to you, please, love is not like this. And if you change this with your thoughts and your feelings, if you heal what's behind you, you can experience the peace and the harmony that you have been lacking or looking for. And it looks like if it's somebody you'd like to get back together with, you're going to find that finding that balance of love, it's what's going to heal that relationship. It isn't going to be telling them that they're wrong or reminding them about what you did or they did, or not that. It's about love. So anyway, if you would like a private reading, if you look at the link below, it'll link you to my website, and you can just get in there and you can book a reading with me. Anyway, thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be doing the next 2 weeks, and it'll be posted on the 15th of November. Enjoy your first 2 weeks in November, Libra.